master's student who has done something unheard of. He has been able to publish over 40 papers within the space of 2 years, which is insane, right? If you are in academia or you are within the academic field, you realize that this is unheard of, and this is a great milestone achieved for a master's student, not a professor, not an academician or anyone who is at the top, but just a master's student who have just started graduate school. So it's an honor today to meet with our great scholar. I want to call him great scholar because he has done something unheard of, right? We want to just start straight away. We want him to introduce himself and tell us about himself. Who is Michael, or who is this person that we are talking about that have published 40 papers? So you are welcome. So tell us about yourself.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Michael,
Mm.
Michael Fumi. Okay, provide. So Michael, provide for me. I'm from Ghana. I had my bachelor's at the University of Cape Coast, I
Mm.
think from 2018 to 2022. And I also served as a research assistant during my national service period. So in Ghana, after your undergraduate, you serve as um, a service personnel kind of
Okay.
for a year.
Mm.
So I did that, and during that time, I think 2023, and I came to China to start my master's in applied economics. So that's something brief about me from my time of uh, bachelor's studies to now. Yeah,
Wow.
basically.
Wow. So you mentioned somewhere 2023. So that means you started publishing from when? Which year did you start?
Okay, so actually, I started the graduate studies with no knowledge in
Wow.
research. So
Mm.
I think my very first paper was in 2024,
Wow.
somewhere March, if I'm not mistaken. So I think I had to use like 6 to 8 months to find my feet
Mm.
about stuff. So I didn't start in 2023 when I started the masters. It
Mm.
was somewhere 2024,
Mm.
actually. Yes.
Wow. If I'm not mistaken, I've kind of interacted with some professors and staff, right, who have been in academia, who have been teaching for years. And to be frank, some of them are not even able to produce, with all due respect, right? With all due respect, with all honor, some are not even able to produce that much
Mm.
within a space of 10 years. But producing within 2 years, how do you manage that? How are you able to do that?
Okay, so it depends. I think when I started my master's, I think my master's degree professor
Hmm,
was of a great help to me
hmm,
because coming from an accounting background
hmm,
into economics, the
hmm,
dynamics are very different.
hmm.
I had no knowledge, so I think when I met him for the first time, he told me, Mike, you need to learn econometrics, learn this, multiple regression, learn that. So I think at the first point, I was so confused. I didn't know what he was saying. But then when I went back to my room,
Mm,
I went online to read. And
mm.
also, so he was the one who brought the desire.
Wow.
But then I needed a direction. I didn't
Mm,
know who to go to. I think those times I messaged some people who were faculty members, I
mm,
think some Ghanaians, but most of them didn't have the time, the
mm,
luxury of time for me, because I would message them that I have a data, I would want to use it. What should I do? The cleaning of the data, but they were not having the time. So
wow.
I think I started most of the things try and error
Mm,
until I got some feet. Then also at times I do ask my professor to give me some details. So I think that's where it actually started
wow.
when I met my professor somewhere 2023 October.
Wow. You know, when we were talking, you mentioned accounting. So actually, I didn't know initially. So that means we are from an accounting background. That means
Yes.
your undergraduate was not economics.
No.
And the 40 papers, or the 40 plus, if I may say, that you've published are within the economic frame, right?
Yes, yes. So most of the publications we've done
Mm.
are economic centered,
Oh, okay.
energy economics and development economics. So
Mm.
they are very different from the accounting, what I actually did for
Mm.
my bachelor study. So I have actually in a way diverted from what I actually did for bachelor's to a different field now. So
Wow.
it's not the same. I'm not continuing the same thing I did. Though I think I did some preliminary economics courses in my bachelor's, but those were more theoretical.
Mm.
So this is very different.
Wow.
Yeah.
For someone to move from accounting
Yeah.
into accounts and do this. So I want to ask, how do you pick your topics? Because I have an economics background, right? And I know that I don't know much about accounting, but I know that economics, we have topics or we have fields we look at. So if an economist is speaking, typically they'll be talking about inflation, they'll be talking about GDP, they'll be talking about monetary terms and all that. But if an accountant is speaking, they have a different language, sort of. So moving from accounting to accounts, how do you pick your topics? How are you able to get your topics? How do you get the inspiration? You were talking about energy economics and stuff. How are you able to get those topics and write on them?
Okay, I think so. The very first you asked about how do I get my topics,
Mm.
which is very, very important
Yeah.
because, as I said earlier, I had no direction actually when I came for the graduate studies, the master's program. Because
Mm.
from Ghana to China
Mm.
for your master's program, I had no direction per
Mm.
se. But then the first day I met my supervisor, he made me know that he's more into digital transformation,
Mm.
enterprise performance, those kind of stuff. So I got something from there, like green innovation, digital transformation, and all those things. So
Mm.
when I went back, I asked myself, what can I also do from those things?
Yeah.
And I think when I read uh, studies,
Mm.
I also had that interest in those green innovation
Mm.
due to sustainability issues and stuff. So
Mm.
I think that was where the idea really started.
Mm.
That's where it really, really started. So the day I met my supervisor, he brought that desire in me
Mm.
to pursue things that are related to social issues and also uh, digital economy kind of.
Mm.
And one thing I almost forgot is that when I was in Ghana before coming to China, there was a time I was I was in my room and I had this instinct that
Wow.
this is the area I need to go on,
Mm.
like this energy. But when I had the instinct that time, I didn't really know what it meant.
Mm.
But it came to the limelight when I met my supervisor.
Mm.
Then from there, I think I was so blessed, and I thank God for that, that I met some people who were already established
Mm.
in academia.
In other words, mentorship.
Mentorship. So it's
Oh.
very, very
Mm.
important. So as a young graduate student at emerging state,
Mm.
you need someone who has probably done a lot
Mm.
you could leverage on to do well.
Ah.
So I think there was at a point I met one prof from Nigeria, but then he's in Turkey.
Mm.
So he really helped me, professors, wherever he is. He really helped me,
Mm.
though he wasn't with me physically, but whenever I message him on ResearchGate on, then he gave me his WhatsApp number so I could speak with him
Mm.
directly. So that's why I started. So whenever something comes to mind, I discuss it with him.
Wow.
That prof is this good. So he became more of my supervisor than
Mm.
my, in a way, my Chinese professor.
Wow.
In
That's
a
that's
way,
amazing.
yeah.
I think we are making headway. So it's becoming clearer. If you can all just see clearer the pathway that he moved from. So he was able to do all this. Obviously, from what you are saying, I see kind of mentorship. Someone who was
Mm,
there and you can relate with, and then you can
exactly.
just stand on
Yeah,
their shoulder and then build.
exactly.
You were talking about in Ghana and you were in your room and you had that inspiration of you want to go to this direction. I wanted to ask a question on that, but I think you were kind of answering it already. I wanted to know, is it that you had a target right from the beginning when you wanted to start? Did you have a target that, well, this is Michael, I have no experience, right? I'm starting graduate school, I have no experience in research, but I'm starting, and within the space of 2 years, I want to publish over 40 papers. Did you have a target like that from the start, or it just happened, right? Did you
Okay.
have a plan for it, or it just happened and then you just enjoy it as it went along?
I would say it didn't just happen
Mm.
because when I was serving as a teaching assistant, I had the doctors and professors who advised me at the School of Business and
Mm.
University of Cape Coast. They spoke to me because I told them I had the interest in research and academia.
Mm.
So they spoke to me that Michael, you need to learn software data, you need to learn this. So I
Oh.
think before coming to China from June to somewhere, I guess, or July,
Mm.
I enrolled on a research class with one of the doctors
Mm.
in the School of Business, Dr. Kusi.
Mm.
So he took me through the theoretical sections,
Mm.
what to expect in an introduction, literature review, how to do all those things.
Mm.
So he really set the stage for that.
Mm.
So I think that was it.
Mm.
But then I didn't have a target that I want to publish uh, maybe 100 or no,
Oh,
because
okay.
in as much as we want to publish, we are also after the quality, not
Mm.
necessarily the quantity. So I
Mm.
didn't have a number per se,
Mm.
but then I believe God laid that thing on my heart that I should go in this direction.
Mm.
But when I came, it just happened by dedication and all those, by the grace of God,
So all your
it just
papers, all
happened.
your papers are also a cons based. No, we're talking more of digital. Your supervisor was into digital and stuff,
Yeah,
but all your papers are currently a cons. We're talking about energy and environment. They are in that direction.
exactly. So
Wow.
energy economics
Mm.
and development economics, and at
Mm.
times we do some entrepreneurial and SME development in
Mm.
addition by
Mm.
reason of collaborations
Mm.
with people.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think it's another thing I wanted to touch on. So I want to know this. Uh, like for a viewer watching or someone watching, I
Mm.
think the difficult thing is, so there are people I speak with who are like, Gabby, I don't even know how to even start. Like, how do I even start this research thing? Maybe I know how to run results. I can use, like you were saying, Stata. I can use Stata. I can use this, but I don't know where to start from and how to even come up with, oh, this is a paper.
Mm.
So we want you to take us through a typical paper, right, from scratch. From how do you get your concept till it is published?
As I said earlier, at times, there are projects my current supervisor
Mm.
handles
Mm.
because he has a research fund. So there are times he gives me areas I could possibly research on.
Mm.
So I think he has at a time given me an area like digital transformation, staff structure, and then enterprise performance. So
Mm.
those are like directions. So
Mm.
you could write something around them.
Mm.
So it's something that he has interest in. So
Mm.
you asked about how do I get concepts and topics.
Mm.
So that's one way. You go by reason of the project your lab is actually working
Okay.
on.
Mm.
So he's a professor, he has funding,
Mm.
and the funding is for a specific project.
Mm.
So we work on those projects. However, there are times I also have my personal works I want to do. Maybe by reading literature, I identify some gaps I would want to explore.
Mm.
So those are so once we write the paper, there are times I don't do everything by myself. I leverage on friendship and collaborations. So once I reach out to friends, maybe one or two people, we write. When we are done, we synchronize everything. We
Mm.
put everything together and make sure it's up to standard. Then we probably get someone to read everything and review everything for us that it meets the specific journal standards and all. Then we go ahead to submit. It goes through rounds of review and revisions. At times it takes 6 months, a year. Some could also come much earlier. So that's it. Then you submit a revision finally. It's either the editor of the journal accepts or rejects.
Mm.
So those are the dynamics. So it's from my research lab, the projects we have at the moment. I pick inspiration from them, or I do my own literature review and
Mm.
identify gaps,
Mm.
then call people, then write.
Wow. So it means that I don't have to know everything before I start writing.
No, no.
Because from what you are saying, you kind of call people on board. You start,
Yes,
you write. So this
yes,
person take this person take that. You write, and you guys come together.
exactly.
Unlike the traditional way years back, where one person sits down to write a full paper.
No, no, no. So I think one of the things that have really helped me is collaboration. So
Mm.
by reason of the connections and the networks I built,
Mm.
so based on your outputs, your discipline, and the diligence you have, a professor could also recommend you to another professor that this guy is good.
Mm.
You can bring him on this study, and that's it. So that's one thing that has really helped me.
Mm.
My professors that I know from other countries
Mm.
speak to other people that Mike is good. You can bring him on board on
Mm.
for this paper. He can handle the methodology section or handle this section. Like so,
Mm.
I come on board. We write and we put all the other people's stuff together, and it goes.
Wow.
Yeah,
If I'm getting it well, it means I'm learning a lot, right? So it means mentorship is key.
very key.
It means collaborations are key.
Very, very, very
It
key.
also means you have to be disciplined.
Yeah,
You have to be diligent.
I think so. For the research journey,
Mm.
it's time consuming.
Mm.
So one of the things that really makes the difference
Mm.
is the time allocation.
Mm.
I've always been saying, I think there was a time I had an opportunity to speak to international students, and I said that if you have time for so many things, you wouldn't have time
Time
for
for research.
research.
Mm.
Yeah, because it will take your time. Because I
Mm.
think even doing a literature review, at
Mm.
times you will do it maybe when you are like you know your topic and you want to start writing.
Yeah.
It may take you 2 hours, 3 hours
Mm.
just reviewing papers and writing. After you write, you even check similarity and you realize that it's all plagiarized. You need to work on it again. So it can take you 3 hours just sitting. So if you are really not disciplined, you realize that you can't produce much.
Mm.
You will do one and lose hope. So I think what I said earlier is very, very key. If you have time for so many things, you wouldn't have time for the research,
Mm.
which is very key. I keep saying that to people, friends I meet who want to start writing. I tell them that if you have time for so many things, you wouldn't have time for your research and you wouldn't produce much
Mm.
as expected, the
Mm.
quality as expected.
Wow. Before we came on set, I wanted to check this, but then I know you have over 40 papers.
Hmm.
And I know per the projection, someone who has about 40 papers and we still have like about 4 months to end the year, right? So
Hmm.
that means there are more in the pipeline. So before we came on set, how many papers are on your research gate?
I may not probably no, just as I said it's over 40. So
Mm.
let's take that over 40.
Over 40.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I think that's okay. I may not
Mm.
really remember,
Mm.
but as you said, there are other ones upcoming.
Mm.
There are studies we did
Mm.
years back, let's say a year.
Mm.
Some were rejected.
Mm.
We had to revise them and all that.
Mm.
So there are times where when the papers are published, someone may not know.
Yeah.
The person may think you just wrote it in 2025.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they were written in 2024, but then they were rejected by some journals. You had to revise
Mm.
and take it to another outlet.
Mm.
So those are the dynamics.
Speaking of rejections, I think we'll come to that. I want to ask you some challenges you faced, but then
Mm.
right before we go to that, I want to ask, do you ever run out of ideas? Because I've taken time to go through some of your papers, right? Going through, I realize they are mostly novel. I don't see, with all due respect, I don't see maybe just a change of one variable and repeating stuff. I see novelty kind of in almost all the papers. So do you ever run out of ideas? Do you feel like a time is coming where your idea bank will be exhausted? Or there is a strategy where if we go by, we will never run out of ideas. We will always have fresh ideas and be speaking about.
Okay, so my inspiration is from God. Then I
Mm.
think if you have professors you are working with,
Mm.
they mostly have projects they are working on. So I think when you align and you come into contact with such people, you benefit from their projects.
Mm.
So once they are working on the project, they bring you on board. Assuming you're a PhD student or a master student, your professor or your lab is undertaking a research. You can also benefit from that, pick inspiration because most of the times the projects professors embark on are very, very novel stuff, or I think they are topics that are of much importance. So as a student, a graduate student, master's or PhD, once you are working with your professor, you could also pick inspiration from such projects
Mm.
and help your lab, help your professor,
Mm.
and by extension, help yourself. So I don't think you would ever go out of ideas, because
So
there are
long as
new things.
there are projects.
Yeah, there are new things coming, and
Mm,
once you have the interest for it, you would keep reading,
mm,
you would keep discovering new methods, uh, new theories keep coming,
mm,
extensions of theories keep coming, and you realize that some theories haven't been applied to certain fields.
mm,
So you try to apply that theory, test it in your field. Once it's applicable, to have new ideas and the like. So I think you will never run out of ideas. One, if you put your trust in God, and
mm.
two, you have a connection with the professor and you
Oh,
don't work in isolation.
okay. So I think this one will be a difficult one. And I think for some of us, our background, where we are coming from, these two questions I want to ask are key to us. So,
Okay.
number one, which of the papers are you most proud of? So, you've written over 40 papers. Looking at these 40 papers, which one of them, if you are being asked that select the best one, okay, this one, when I was writing it, I went through this one is unique in this sense. I like this concept so much
Mm.
that if let's say World Economic Forum should call you and say, oh, come and present your findings for us on any paper you've written, or you've gotten the opportunity to the IMF to present your finding on any paper you've written,
Mm.
you pick that particular paper. And why will you pick that paper?
Okay, so I think, so when I came for my graduate studies,
Mm,
upon speaking with my supervisor and knowing what he wanted, I realized before graduation I needed to publish an SSCI paper.
mm,
So I think, as I said earlier, coming from a background with no knowledge in research, the paper that really excited me was when I had my first SSCI
mm.
with my supervisor, because I knew with that paper I can graduate.
Okay.
So when I had that paper, and it was something related to public health in Ghana,
Oh, okay.
and the method was quite good. So I think that was the joy. I think we submitted that paper somewhere in June 2024,
Mm,
and it was eventually published in, I think, February 2025.
mm.
So like
From
seven,
June to February,
yes,
1 year.
not up to 1 year.
One up to 1 year, but then the next year.
Yeah, so I think
Mm,
8 or 7 months, something like that.
mm.
So I think that was very joyous. It brought a lot of excitement.
I can just imagine the joy,
Hmm.
you know.
So I
And
think that was very.
yeah, and the kind of, I don't know, but the kind of in academia when you have a requirement for graduation and you are not meeting the requirements, it
Mm,
becomes a headache. So
very.
I understand you. And then this one is for, I know people have been waiting for this question. I
Mm.
know, right? And this is the question. Have your publications opened opportunities for you? Have you opened doors for you? So I'm publishing. I have 40 papers, or I have 40 plus, I have 50, I have 100. Okay. To what end? What's the essence? Okay. Uh-huh. Is it bringing polar? Is it bringing money? Is it bringing new opportunities? What? So if I have publications, what's the benefit? To what end does it benefit me, or is just for the academic profile on the internet so that when they go, they type my name, they can see my name? Is that all, or there is more to it?
I think certainly there is more to it, because behind everything there is a force.
Mm,
So there should be something driving your actions,
mm,
right?
mm,
So I think, one, you asked about the benefits.
mm,
So assuming you are a master's student and you are quite good with publications, and you have interest in pursuing a PhD, I believe strongly it can help you send a strong message to the PhD supervisors you eventually message,
mm,
because to the best of my knowledge, PhD is like 80% research. So you should know what you want to do,
mm,
the methods you want to use. Though PhD is also a learning stage,
mm.
but then there should be some kind of knowledge you have.
Proud to the PhD.
Exactly. And I think
Mm,
as a master's student, starting that kind of thing opens you up and gives you, it puts you in a pedestal
mm,
for your PhD. And so I think it opens doors in the sense that it gives you some good funding opportunities for your PhD.
mm,
And as a PhD student who is also good in research, can also help you with some faculty positions or
mm,
postdoc positions. So I
mm.
think it's of great benefit. And I think you also asked about monetary.
Yeah.
So I spoke earlier that most of the research we do is funded by our research lab,
Mm,
my current supervisor's research lab,
mm,
and most of the times he applies for funding.
mm,
And once he applies for funding, the money comes, and there is the support for most of the graduate research assistants. We go
Mm.
for dinner and stuff, and
Mm.
most of the times there are gifts and
Mm.
all those
Mm.
things. So
Mm.
it's rewarding,
Mm.
and also there is that personal fulfillment,
Mm.
which cannot be compared to money necessarily. So it's very very fulfilling. I would encourage people embark on it. I think, yeah.
Mm. That's that's good. I think that's very encouraging, especially when the money comes in, right? Okay, so if someone is listening to us right now
Mm,
and is a novice, right,
mm.
and have just come across this video, watch this video, and feels like, hey, after this video, I want to write my first paper. What will be your advice? How should a person start?
I think the first thing is uh, find a mentor,
Mm.
because
Before you start writing, find a mentor.
yeah, you need guidance,
Mm.
because irrespective of how good your idea is,
Mm.
speak to someone about it. It's
Mm.
very very important, because it's at that point there will be some kind of refinement to your topic,
Mm.
your idea, your estimated methods, and all those things. So speak to someone. Don't just start writing.
Mm.
You need to speak to someone,
Mm.
someone who has the results, someone who is not emerging as you,
Mm.
someone who is a bit established in academics. Can be your professor, whether you're a master's student or PhD, or even a postdoctoral researcher. You could still leverage on people.
Mm.
I think that's very, very key. Discuss whatsoever you want to do with someone,
Mm.
a trusted friend, a professor, so there'll be some kind of help in a way. It's very, very important. Don't just set and go. You would start and realize that you've done like a disadvantage to yourself or disservice to yourself. So
Mm.
it's very important to speak to somebody about it. Don't just begin.
Okay.
That's my advice. Don't just begin. Speak to someone.
Okay. So I want to leave our viewers with this last question for you. So obviously throughout the discussion, I realized you want to do it. You want to pursue your PhD. You
Mm.
want to move into academia. That's very clear, very obvious from anyone listening. So, is there any dream project you want to pursue? Do you have any dream project you want to pursue that maybe going into my PhD, I want to do this project?
Mm. For projects,
Mm.
it depends. There are a lot of projects that are economic centered,
Mm.
and like a whole lot in Europe, Asia,
Mm.
everywhere. So I don't have specific projects on it, but anything,
That comes economics.
yeah, it's okay.
Mm.
So I think it will be appreciated.
Mm.
So I don't have because I'm not a professor, so you can't
Mm.
have specific projects you want to do.
Mm.
So any professor who is having a project with like your interest aligns, I
Mm.
think I can do it.
Wow.
So I don't have space because I can go with my project.
Mm.
I'm going to work with a professor. So the professor's project before mine. So based on that professor's project, I derive my
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 project.
stuff from.
Wow.
Yeah,
And so that's good. And we want to thank you.
you're
Thank you
welcome.
for the time. Thank you for making our time and speaking to us today. I think we've learned a lot.
Mm,
I personally have learned about mentorship. I've learned about collaborations. You don't have to know everything before you start. Also, I've learned that you have to be diligent and
mm.
you have to keep on going. With one thing he says that keeps ringing a bell is that if you have time for many things, you can't have time for uh,
Research,
research,
very very
right?
important.
So if you must set your priorities right, it's powerful. It's been good having you. We've been
Thank you
speaking
too.
to Michael Provide Fume. He's a master's student currently at the Northwestern Polytechnical University in Xi'an, China.
Thank you also for having me
Hmm.
and
And
the viewers. I believe the session will be of great
hmm,
benefit for most especially early career researchers,
hmm,
master students, and PhD students. I think it will be of great help
hmm.
that you would leverage on the networks and people around you. Yeah, thank you so so much for having me.
It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure.